In this video series, I'm going to show you how you can set up a forum using WordPress. Now, this is going to be a very simple to set up forum, yet it's going to be very powerful and very flexible for you to use. So you can either add this forum to an existing blog so that you have a forum within it, or you can just use a WordPress install as your forum. Okay, so that's what we're going to do in this video series. Now, in this first video, we're just going to install WordPress. So if you already know how to install WordPress, you can go to video 2. Okay, so let's get started with the install. First, go to wordpress.org, and then over on the right here, you'll see download WordPress. Click on that, and then you'll see download WordPress here, whichever version, and there it goes. Okay, so you have to, of course, have your own hosting and a domain name to set up WordPress on your own site or on your own domain. So make sure you have that, and that's what I'm assuming for this video series, that you already have your own hosting account and a domain name to put it on. Okay, so once that downloads, we're going to unzip that. In the meantime, what we're going to do is we're going to go and create a database for it on our server. WordPress is database driven, so you have to go and create a database. Okay, now I'm showing you cPanel hosting here, but whatever type of hosting you use, you will have a place where you can create a database. I have MySQL database wizard, so that's what I'm going to use here. This allows you to do the whole thing in one process, creating both the database and the username and password to access the database. Okay, so let's give it a database name now. Let's call it My Forum. Next. Okay, so here we need to create a username. You need a username and password to access the database. So I'll call it My Forum again. It's better that you use a different database and username here, but I'll just do it for expediency's sake. Then we want to use the password generator to create a nice secure password. Let's copy that, save, and use password. Okay, so let's open Notepad now. Let's paste the password in there, because we're going to need that again. And let's create user. Now we need to give all privileges. Click next step. Okay, and then we'll just copy this line with our username and our database name on it, and we'll just bring it into here for when we need it for the WordPress install. Now let's go and look at our files that we downloaded. Okay, so here we are. I've put this into a folder called forum here. Now what we're going to do is right click on it, and we can extract it using extract all that's built into Windows, or I'm going to use 7-zip, which I've downloaded. It's a free program for extracting files you can use if you want. Just do a search on Google, and I use this because it's a lot faster to extract the files, and the extract all procedure is that comes with your computer. So we'll just let that unwind here. Okay, so there it is, and here's our files in here. So we're going to be uploading all those to our server, and to do that we need an FTP client, and I like to use one called FileZilla that you can also download for free. So let's open that up. Okay, so you simply navigate on the left side to the files on your computer, and then your server will be over here. So up here under hostname, you put your domain name and then the username and password for your hosting account to get logged in, or you can use the site manager and you can set it up in there, and then you can access it at any time. Okay, so let me get this done here. Okay, so I've connected to my server. So what I'm going to do is go into here, and this is the folder that all my files are in. So I could upload this folder and rename it over on this side, or I can create a folder over here and create directory, and then upload the files into there. I'm just going to upload the WordPress directory, and then I'm going to rename it once it's all uploaded. So let's just wait for that to upload. Okay, now once everything's uploaded, just make sure that you don't have any failed transfers here. So we're all good here. Now let's go over to this side and find WordPress, and then we will rename this, and I'm going to call it my forum. And there we go. So, all right, so now what we need to do is just go to the directory where we installed that. So we just type that into our address bar up at the top of our browser here. Okay, so it comes up and tells you there's no config file, so we'll let it create one. Now if it can't create it for you, it'll tell you, and you just copy the contents of the file that it shows you there. It'll show in a little window what needs to be in it, and you can create it afterwards. Okay, so it's telling us we need all of our database information and so on. So let's continue. All right, now here we wrote all this down, or we recorded it, I should say. So this is our, well, let's see, this is our database name here. So copy that, paste it in here, and then our username happens to be the same in this case. Okay, and then we need our password. Okay, our database host, we'll come back to that in a second. Here we have our table prefix. You're going to want to change this from WP underscore to something else, so I'm going to call it MYF underscore, just for security reasons. Now, localhost most of the time is correct, but here's how you can find out. Go back into your control panel and look for phpMyAdmin. Okay, so that's under databases. You'll see phpMyAdmin, so click on that. Okay, and then right up here in the top left, you'll see your database host name. Okay, so it is localhost in my case, but whatever's here, that's what you need to use. Okay, so let's submit and run the install. Okay, so now all we do is give it a site title. So we'll just call it my forum. Okay, you need to pick a username. Don't use admin. Let's say my forum admin, and then give yourself a password here. Watch the weakness thing here. You try and get one that's strong, unlike what I just did. Okay, your email address that you want to use. It's a good idea to create an email address on your own domain. So whatever your domain you're using to install this on, create an email address for it and put it in there. And then whether you're going to allow search engines in to the site. So I'm going to leave that as it is, and then click install WordPress. Okay. So I'll just copy that, and we'll click login. And there we are. We are now installed. Okay, now in the next video, we're going to do some customization before we get our forum going.